Well, hello. Hello. Can one, amidst all this confusion, present a lecture like Outward and Livingness as presented by RRH back in 1965 in a couple of hours or even less? Oh, I'm already not tired but frustrated. I don't know if I can make it. I will keep doing those YouTube videos because I know live, I cognized it yesterday, I think. It's not something for live. You put it on YouTube, whoever wants to see it, you put a link on Facebook, Hate Alliance, can view it. But it's amazing because that's my Bible. That's my Bible, Outward and Livingness. I've lived with it. I've had the livingness. I created a little job here in Athens, in Greece. I created the Central Files ASHO project. I didn't file a single paper. I just applied, the org board. That was so good for me. I saw it happening in front of my eyes. It's so amazing to see all these things and how workable they are. But then it's very difficult because in life there is we're all universes and one cannot understand the other, even if they have lived for 16 years or so together, or even more. That's Greek. It's all Greek. See, it's my wife. I love her. We've been together. You see, she cannot understand. Thank God she just talks Greek and nobody can understand. Can you close the door or not? Okay, I will close the door. Anyway, this is not a live video, so I can cut it off, but I want because it's fun. It's fun. If you don't confront somebody, and if you don't have some reaction from them because they're not in your pants, they cannot understand what's happening. We're not stupid. That's the translation. Okay, anyway, I go on after 3 minutes, so I will close the door. Obviously, someone has to do things by himself. What he believes, what he hopes, what's his dream. You don't need another person to say, oh, yes, you're right. Okay, you're right. Or even, oh, you're wrong. Let me close the door. Be your own counsel, okay? Remember that. Integrity, stuff like that. You have to carry on against all odds, and those odds may be, from people close to you. But don't blame them. It's okay. Just hat them. Hat, don't hit. All right. So, let me see now. My other phone is stuck, maybe, or maybe not, because I'm reading this. Okay, it got unstuck. I understand that this is gonna take ages just for one lecture, so I'll try to see if I can do some homework, which I haven't done, and usually I'm not doing any homework. I'm very spontaneous and go on like this. And this is maybe what pisses off people, or not pisses off, but they say, okay, Theo, you talk a lot, and where's the juice? Where's the meat and the potatoes, as the Americans say? So I will try to, okay, it's also a piloting thing, it's not like a final thing. I could one day probably get the juice, the meat and the potatoes of Orboard and Livingness in maybe half an hour. Well, right now I'm doing some pilots. I'm not bothering anybody on lives. I'm by myself. They're by themselves. Thank God. We don't have Regis because I overreached. And people got like, oh, okay, don't communicate so much and don't be here so much because that's a crime. You know? Anyway. Uh, so I continue from a point where I think I left, but maybe not exactly. We'll see. Oh, yes. I wrote that. I wrote that just now on Theta Lines. The worst. Okay, sorry. No, previous paragraph. When you get individualized action, even though this is occasionally very spectacular and very successful, okay, which hangs the auditor in a lose, in a win, you see, and then makes him lose afterwards. This very spectacular individualization, he calls it individualization here, of action, within the rest of the team, weirdly enough, even though it occasionally wins a battle, in actual fact does more harm than good, because it sets an example of breaking policy, which then breaks up the team. I think we referred to policy, and we gave some, probably it was from Orboard and Livingness, bad examples, and maybe it wasn't from Orboard and Livingness, but I do remember that Elleray said when there is a catastrophe, policy tends to be blamed about, and then individual policy starts, and individual action starts getting in. And that's what's happening in the free zone for many years now, since I know the free zone since the year 2000, when I left the Sea Org and came to Greece, and Facebook started and we could have some communication. So individualized action, that's all. Now, what do you propose? I don't propose anything. I'm reading LRH. So it sets an example of breaking policy, which then breaks up the team. And tell me if there's a real team in the free zone. So I continue. The worst team you ever wanted to see is one composed of all stars, taken at random at the starring players, as the starring players, with spectacular individualities from each of the winning teams of a country. Okay, let's take basketball or football. The All Stars. I don't care what game you're playing. If you want a really stinking team, get those boys, because they are running according to the different policies of their different coaches, don't you see? And they are already, by all-star, quote-unquote, players, pre-selected as doing something that was very noticeable, which means they didn't even follow their own team policy. So now you group all those fellows together in a mess, and each one each one is magnificent and a collective mess. And they probably could be leaked by any little batch of high school kids, that's typical LRH, on the same game, who were, emphasis on were, welded together by policy. Quote, when Bill does that, I do this. That's it. That's play 64. What's play 64? When Bill does that, I do this, and then Joe does that. That's just policy. Okay, I think I will end it up here. I just read a couple of paragraphs, maybe 3 or 4. That's from the source's mouth. Orbourd and Livingness, 6 April 1965, exactly or close to 60 years now, and that's not no. And that's about policy, and that's about the all-stars that we see in the free zone, but we don't really see them because they don't even play together. That's another thing, you know? They are not even in communication. So what I want to do is like say to them and tell them at least you guys need to get together, and then maybe you can start looking at policy and admin tech, which I had to take Patrick out. Actually, he decided to be taken out himself because he wouldn't understand policy. I'm sorry. I'm here for Scientology, ethics, tech, and policy. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. Obviously, I'm gonna do more lives, and maybe tonight also another one. I'm in the mood, and I found a way not to disturb people. Thank you.